Alright guys, welcome to today's video training. Today we are going to be focusing on a list, a mailing list that you own that you can actually monetize it from. So this is probably one of the single biggest issue with all trainers and coaches is that 99.999% of trainers and coaches that I have met, that I have worked with, they don't really own a list. So what is a list exactly? It's just a database of contacts of people that you have that you can actually consistently communicate with and to promote your products or services. So kind of like 10 years ago, let me tell you a little bit about what is the kind of hard way compared to now. Now today, I will say that building a list is easy. It's literally easy. Anyone can do it. But let me tell you what is the hard way, like almost 10 years ago, what we have to do to build a list. So 10 years ago, when we need to actually build a database, number one, either you go and buy it, or number two, you build your own. So how do we build is that we actually make telephone calls to do research and to collect emails. So most of the time, it's going to be more effective to make phone calls and collect emails because it's a lot more accurate. So those leads that we buy from vendors out there, most of the time, those are kind of like outdated leads. So those are what we need to do 10 years ago. And fast forward until here today, right now, you know how easy it is to actually put up an advertisement out there and to collect leads and to build your mailing list from there. It is absolutely easy in today's world. So one of the most fundamental thing that we want to actually be talking about is that why do you need to actually build a list is because of a very simple fact of traffic. It doesn't matter whether you are doing an online business or whether you are in an offline business. Traffic literally means the people that is coming to your business for you to monetize. That's traffic. So most of the people actually assume that when we talk about traffic, oh yeah, Ulysses is all the online things. No, I'm not into online. I'm actually a coach. I'm a trainer doing live training or live coaching. Well, if you do not have traffic, no, guess what? Who is going to go onto your website to view your brochure? Who is going to go onto your landing page to subscribe to your newsletter? Who is going to go onto your videos, to look at all the content that you're going to be putting out there, right? So it all boils down to traffic because in today's world, remember, in today's world, we are driven very heavily by the internet. So this traffic literally is applicable for online business or offline business. Even if you're doing business in the outer space, I would say that you also need to drive traffic to there. Right? So the main thing about traffic is that you got to realize that there is one part of traffic is what you own or you can control. All right, and this is what this list is all about. There's another part of traffic is what you actually don't control. You don't control, right? And what do I mean by this is that, let me just get this up. All right, this is another part of the traffic. You got to understand this fundamental part before you can master how to get audience into your radar of sight for you to actually monetize from, right? So this part of traffic is a part that you don't control, and it kind of like divides itself into another two range. One of it is like more of like the organic part. All right, organic part means people that comes to you through word of mouth, people that actually sees your content and they actually share it on Facebook, they actually share it on YouTube, they forward it to their friends. So these are organic, so you don't have to pay for it. So organic traffic are those that you don't have to pay for it. I think this is not so clear, so just take note as this is the traffic you don't control, right? You don't control this part of the traffic. So organic is the one that you cannot control. You have no control about. You cannot control whether your friends or your audience are going to be sharing your video or sharing your Facebook post. So the other part of traffic that you can't control, okay, I better put it here. It doesn't kind of look. Yeah, okay, you don't control. It's a part of paid traffic. So paid traffic literally means all the Facebook, all the Google AdWords, all the solo ads, all the joint venture partners list that you are paying them to drive traffic to your products or services. So does that make sense? So these are the part that you don't control. What you ultimately want to achieve is that, take a look at this. When times are good, you see, when times are good, nobody is going to care about whether you own traffic because you are just making the money, you are just making the business. Think about what if one day that your business is kind of restricted by the social media platforms or the algorithms changes. We see that year after year for Facebook, for Google, for all platforms, right? Facebook easily have changed two major things this year alone that affected all advertisers, right? And Google just made a huge change in the algorithm search last year. Again, it actually changed the entire game for all advertisers. So look at this. When times are good, nobody is going to care about how we actually deal with traffic. It is when times are bad, when algorithm of the social media platform actually changes, or when the economy kind of shakes a little bit, and that is when people will tend to put more focus on traffic. So what I really want to tell all of you is that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time here right now today. So don't wait until you need to have the tree and then you put down the seed onto the ground. All right. So your ultimate goal is to kind of transfer those traffic that you don't control as much as possible into your list. Because once you have a list, take a look at this. Once you have a list, all right, this thing over here, once you have a list, what you can do is that you can send communication to them daily, weekly, monthly, anytime that you want. You can promote your new product that every time you launch it. You can actually promote the live training that you're going to be conducting near a city, in a city that's near them. You can actually promote your new coaching package. You can actually just send out a video for them to watch so that they can actually share it with their friends. So all these are free because you own their list. Does that make sense? So this is the importance of having a list, because the amount of money that you are going to be making, this is exactly what I will say again and again, irregardless of whether it's going to be today, tomorrow, 10 years later, or 20 years later. The amount of money that you are going to be making directly correlates to the size of the list that you own. Right, and I'm not talking about that 10, 20 people that actually have emailed you before and you have their contact on your mailbox. No, I'm talking about a proper list that you keep in a database, Excel spreadsheet minimum. You need to have an Excel spreadsheet to actually hold this. So there's a lot of tools out there, a lot of software that actually deals with list management. But you minimally need to have an Excel spreadsheet, right, to have at least their email. This is really the bare minimum. This is the bare minimum. Right? You do not need to have their contact details like phone number. If you have it, that's good. Depends on how you actually promote your services or products. So the bare minimum is really on email. And you probably will need to have a name at least. Alright. So name is really optional. It depends on whether you need to actually address them by the name through your correspondence. So but this is really the bare minimum. Anything else is really bonus. This is the bare minimum on what you need to have to build a list. So there are so many ways to build a list. The only one thing that you need to have minimum, all right, is to have a way to actually be able to capture the list. Am I right to say that? You can't go out on the street and ask people, hey, can you give me your email address? I need to actually build my list so that I can actually ask you to give me money in the future. Nobody's going to do that. So you need to have some form of channel. Once again, take a look at today's world. Which is the main medium that people are using to communicate? All right, the internet. The internet. Everything is going to be on the internet. So you got to build your list out from the internet as well. And the very bare minimum that you need to have is to have some form of online presence. Some of you call this a website, all right, but I prefer to call this an opt-in page, right? Because a website literally means like home, about us, contact us, all those things. Those are not, properly designed to capture leads. So what I would really want all of you to have is really a very dedicated opt-in page. All right, and it gives nothing but just for the main purpose of having a box for them to fill up their email and for them to send it to you. Does that make sense? So you want to have a very dedicated opt-in page so that people are able to go onto it to kind of put their details with you so that they have the communication from you. So the best place to put this opt-in page is on the home page of your website. So it doesn't matter what business you are in. You have a website, isn't it? So this is the best way, because the first thing that people want to know about you, they go onto your website. So this is what 99% of the business out there are doing all wrong, is that they have all the things that's going to be appearing on their main homepage, just because they want to let people know that they are doing a lot of things. But that kind of, think about it, that kind of divert the attention and take away, what you really want to achieve with that visitor when it actually comes onto your website. So most of the time, just think about what are the kind of sequence of things that you do when you actually visit a website. You go to a website, you see a lot of things, you click here, you click there, and within a few minutes, or probably within the first 7 seconds, right, you click away. So this is what happens with a lot of website visitors. That's what they are doing right now. So you want to have a very dedicated opt-in page that does nothing but to let them input their details with you, right? So now it comes back to the question, why would anyone want to actually put their details with you on the opt-in page? So if you have a website, or if you have an opt-in page, and what you are merely doing is to have that very traditional box over here that says subscribe to our newsletter, receive our daily tips and tricks, or receive our weekly tips of living healthy. I don't know about you, but it seems that this is not exactly the best way to do it right now, because it's too generic, it's not focused. So you want to have something that kind of like something that's a little bit more tangible over here. All right, so it can be kind of like a report, right? A report that gives people, for your audience, if you are in live coaching, so you want to probably have a kind of report that tells them, what are the latest trends in terms of the advancement of life coaching in 2018. That's just for example. Let's say if you are in career coaching, you can have a checklist, right? For example, a checklist that says, what are the top 10 things that you need to do to ensure that you score 100%, in your next interview. That's for example. Or you can have any sum of things, basically anything. So these are what a lot of marketers, they will call it as, the baits, all right? The baits of luring people to exchange their email address, the contact information with you in exchange for something, right? Does that make sense? So what you really want to have right now for a start, do nothing else. So if you want to build a list, right, this is the bare minimum that you need to have an opt-in page. So there's a lot of ways to actually drive list building right now nowadays. This is what I've showed you is really one of the very traditional ways. It's been done over the past 10 years with with a lot of people on the internet. So what are some of the few ways that you want to actually help your audience to easily give you their contact? Well, my team and I, we have experimenting with messenger bots, all right, messenger bots over the past 1 to 2 weeks, and we have been getting insane results. So we have made it so easy for people to come onto our list by just using Messenger. So in my opt-in page, I tested across a couple of product variants. So on an opt-in page, we built a Messenger kind of a link so that they can actually easily click on it. So once they click on it, they will actually have the Messenger pop up to say that an automatic message that comes from my Facebook page that goes over to them and start communicating with them. And all those conversations are all pre-built, right? So, hey, I see that you actually check out on my specific page, and do you want this product? Yes. To confirm, no. To leave this conversation. So most of them will click yes because they actually click on that messenger button on my opt-in page. So once they click in yes, they automatically subscribe to my chatbot. All right. So what does that mean is that I can literally send them a message anytime I want. All right, anytime I want. So now think about it. So this is a lot of I do not want you to jump into messenger bots because this is kind of like very new. So it only started to get popularized sometime at the beginning of last year, in fact in 2016. So this is considered something that is what I would call a shiny object. So I would not mess around, all right, with messenger bots until I have my opt-in page all up and ready. So messenger bots is something that just complements what you already are doing in your list building effort. But I'm just showing it to you so that you know what are the kind of variety of things that are available out there to allow your visitors to come onto your list as easy as possible. And messenger bots is really one of them right now. Okay, so so that is it. That is it that I want to go through with you here today. The importance of it and start doing it right now. So if you have questions about how to build a landing page like this, right? Let me know if you have this question, because this is really easy. This is like, anyone can do it. And do not be confused with the fact that this is going to cost a lot of money, with a lot of coding, a lot of programming that's needed. No, this is extremely easy. Even I can do it. I'm a technology idiot, trust me when I say this, but I can put up an opt-in page within a few hours all by myself. So if you have questions about the technical part about having an opt-in page, let me know. I'm going to be doing a separate video that I feel that is going to do more justice, talking about baits. Right? I'm just going to be doing a separate video, very quick video, just talking about the kind of bait that you can create so that you can actually bait your visitors into exchanging their contact details with you. All right, so this is Ulysses once again. I hope that today's video training has brought you a lot of value, and you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I will be more than glad to personally help you out with in your list building effort. All right, so stay calm, love and peace.